What's up you guys, it's your boy Hayden back in another video, and today we're going to be talking about Michael Jackson and lip syncing. Now, before you go full ham on the comments, look, lip syncing is completely normal. Any artist does it as well, and Michael Jackson is no special god when it comes to lip syncing. Now, imagine this. You are arguably the world's greatest entertainer. You've been entertaining people for like almost half a decade. Look, you gotta admit, you gotta be lip syncing some of your songs where you don't feel like it, or you're sick, or you just straight up, you're just like, I'm not really bothered. And you know what? That's fair enough. I just hate it when Michael Jackson fans are like, oh no, Michael Jackson's such a god. He live sings every single song. Well, if you look at the history tour, that's 90% lip synced. Am I saying that Michael Jackson lip syncing is a bad thing? Completely not. That is totally understandable. We're not expecting Michael Jackson to sing fully live. People get sick, people have their off days, and Michael Jackson is human, so he is no exception to that. In this video, I'll be talking which songs were lip sync on the tours and which songs were completely live. I'm going to be talking about the Bad World Tour, the Dangerous World Tour, History Tour, MJ and Friends, and the 30th anniversary. I know for some Grammy performances, MTV Music Award performances, they were a mixture between lip sync and live. But if I don't mention it in this video, feel free to comment down in the section below and I'll tell you which one is lip synced and which one is live vocals. So during the video, I'll be using a term which is ad-libbing. So what does that actually mean? Well, in terms of singing, ad-lib is an improvisation technique used in music. Adds more value to the song. And basically when it comes to Michael Jackson, it's usually, him saying, like in Billie Jean, for example, the Who's, the Owls, the Doggone Lovers, anything that is live that isn't part of the album mix. Especially in some songs where they have an improv or, band breakdown. Usually MJ is, he switches between playback and live. Playback is also a term that I'll be using, and in this case, playback is usually lip syncing or the album a cappella on top of the band. As an MJ performer, I've actually used MJ playback, so I was lip syncing to Michael Jackson's voice on top of a live band here. My own playback where I actually lip sync my own vocals that I pre-recorded in this performance here. And in the past when I was a kid, I actually just used to use my own voice before I actually learned how to actually do proper shows and performances and all that stuff. So when it comes to a performing aspect, it actually is pretty good to, be able to take a break and just lip sync to your own vocals. So the reason why I'm starting with the Bad World Tour is because a lot of things before the Bad Tour was actually mainly live. The Triumph Tour, the Destiny Tour, the Victory Tour, and in some cases, in just rare either television performances or just small appearances, they either use a combination between live vocals or just the album playback. For example, for the music video Enjoy Yourself, that's actually a live performance, but they actually just lip sync to the track. Especially for some instances, like TV appearances such as on MTV, Top of the Pops, and even for just random performances, Michael would actually lip sync. For example, this rock review performance here for the UNICEF Gala. That's actually lip synced to the album version. And even in the Motown 25 special where he lip synced to literally the album version of Billie Jean, damn. And people were like, oh my god, he's singing. Oh my god. So as you can see that Michael Jackson, even in his earlier years, was using lip syncing, which is fair enough because, I'd be completely knackered if I was singing constantly, it doesn't number to your vocal cords and it's totally understandable. Alright, let's get into the Bad World Tour. So we're starting off with the 1987 leg of the Bad World Tour. So Wanna Be Started Something was live. Things I Do For You was live. Off the Wall was live. Human Nature was live. This Place Hotel was live. She's Out of My Life was live. Jackson 5 Medley was live. Rock With You was live. Lovely One was live. Bad Groove, where that's where the bad band jam together. That is a mouthful. Try saying that. But that's where they had like the little, jam section. Working Day and Night was live. Beat It was live. Billie Jean was live. Shake Your Body Down to the Ground was live. Thriller on the Bad Tour was live. I Just Can't Stop Loving You was live. And Bad was live. So 1987 was actually like fully live vocals. And just a quick note that the 1987 leg was literally a Victory Tour but solo version. It's literally just like, the set list was the same, just a few chop and changes, and it's literally like Michael's version of the Victory Tour without the Jackson. So the next leg is the 1988 and 1989 series. This is where we start to see a bit of playback here and there. So Wanna Be Started Something was live. This Place Hotel was live. Another Part of Me was live. Human Nature was live. Smooth Criminal was actually lip-synced. So with Smooth Criminal, it was lip-synced, but then almost at the end, he starts ad-libbing the I don't know parts in the last chorus, and then he goes, oh, and all that stuff. So he starts, turning on the microphone and playback cuts, and now he's ad-libbing. He also sings the you've been hit by, bum, bum, you've been struck by, etc., etc. at the end. I Just Can't Stop Loving You is live. She's Out of My Life is live. Jackson 5 Medley is live. Rock With You is live. Dirty Diana is live. Thriller is live. The Bad Groove section was live. Well, actually, technically Michael Jackson never sung in that, so to speak. Working Day Night is live. Beat It live. Billie Jean live. Bad was completely lip-synced. So the first half of Bad was live, and then, it's almost to the end. It's kind of like Bad is separated into two sections. So the first one was the main song, and then the next is just like the ad-libs, him, introducing the band. All that stuff is live. It's like, shake your body, blah, 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 and all that stuff, yeah. The Way You Make Me Feel was a mixture between playback and ad-lib, especially after the second verse and before the second chorus. He's like, everybody sing, and then it was like, the way you make me feel, the way you make me feel, etc., etc. Yeah, and when he's going to go girl, go, like that was all ad-libs. Especially you get to hear the ad-libs more in the 1989 Los Angeles show that recently leaked, and you can actually hear the difference between the playback and live. And last but not least is Man in the Mirror was completely lip sync, and at the end of, like towards the middle and the end of the song, that was like ad-libbed and all that stuff. Next is the Dangerous World Tour. We're gonna start off with the 1992 leg. So Brace Yourself, he's not singing, that's the video introduction. Jam is lip sync with a few ad-libs. More specifically, the ad-libs are at the beginning or at the end. It really depends on the night. Sometimes when he's really active, like Wembley 1992 or even Munich 1992, he was like going crazy. And the thing is with like the Bucharest concert, for example, the 1992, that was, although that was Frankenstein, you can still hear like the ad-libs at the beginning. And then, yeah, that was lip sync with a bit of ad-libs. Wanna Be Started Something was completely live. What I find actually, Wanna Be Started Something is throughout MJ's career, he always sung it live because you don't want to sing the album version. It sounds a bit weird when, MJ's, growing up, like doing the history tour and he's doing the album version. Yeah, it just sounds a bit weird. And then Wanna Be Started Something, because it's so improvisational, he's always ad-libbing, and also he likes to sing it live, so why not? Human Nature is live. Smooth Criminal is just like the Bad Tour. It was lip sync with a few ad-libs. Actually, he just kind of just screamed at the end and saying, you've been hit by a gun, going, you've been struck by a smooth criminal. Like the ad-libs at the last chorus was just all playback. I Just Can't Stop Loving You was live. She's Out of My Life was live. Jackson 5 Medley live. Thriller actually in the Dangerous Tour is lip sync from now on, which is really sad because I really did like Thriller live. I think there was a few ad-libs here and there, but even then, I think that's the album version of the ad-libs. Billie Jean is live. Black or White is playback, but sometimes in certain shows, I think it was the Wembley show as well. I think the Wembley show had like the most live over playback as well. Sometimes Michael Jackson actually sung over the playback, so you can hear him kind of like double up in layers. Working Day and Night was live. Beat It was live. Will You Be There is actually lip synced, but towards the end that's live, where he says like the poem and all that stuff. There's certain ad-libs where he makes like, his signature MJ noises, that's also think a mixture between the album ad-libs and then his live ad-libs. The Way You Make Me Feel was similar to the Bad Tour, where it was actually playback and then live towards the end. Similar to Black White, he actually sung over the playback, in which you can hear a little bit of a sample in the Oslo show where he starts off the song and then it cuts. Bad, similar to the Bad World Tour, was a mixture between playback and live. Same structure where he would ad-lib introducing the band and just making, you know, these signature MJ noises. Heal the World was lip sync with a few ad-libs, you know, he's like, I love you, heal the world, etc, etc. And then he ad-libs the chorus after that like big pause, like straight before the drums, they go to heal the world, and then it's like him saying hi, bye with the children, etc, etc. And last but not least was Man in the Mirror. So similar to the Bad Tour, it was playback and then it was live at the end in terms of the ad-libs, where, you know, he's spinning around, he's saying who, ow, ow, etc, etc, and all that stuff. That's the 1992 leg. Let's do the 1993 leg. Jam was similar to the 1992 leg. Want to Be Starting Something, similar to the 1992 leg. Human Nature, similar to the 1992 leg. Smooth Criminal, similar to the 1992 leg. I Just Can't Stop Loving You, similar to the 1992 leg. She's Out of My Life, similar to the 1992 leg. Jackson 5 medley, similar to the 1992 leg. Thriller, similar to the 1992 leg. Billie Jean, similar to the 1992 leg. Black or White, similar to the 1992 leg. Will You Be There, similar to the 1992 leg. Alright, now we have a change to the set list. It's Dangerous. Now Dangerous is traditionally playback, but some shows, like, sometimes he sings over the playback, or sometimes the playback isn't working and he's actually singing live. Heal the World, similar to the 1992 leg, and Man in the Mirror on select dates is similar to the 1992 leg. I completely forgot about the Royal concert in Brunei, which was a one-off concert, which was in 1996, which is like literally months before the history tour. So we got Jam, that was live with a few ad-libs. In some of the professional recordings, they actually removed the ad-libs, but in the broadcast version, they kept it in, which was a bit weird. But it's lip sync with ad-libs. Want to Be Started Something is live. Human Nature is live. Smooth Criminal is playback, with the exception of You've Been Hit By, You've Been Struck By, Smooth Criminal as live. I Just Can't Stop Loving You is live. She's Out of My Life is live. The Jackson 5 medley is live. Thriller is playback. Now, Billie Jean in 1996, this is the last time you actually hear it live in Brunei, fun fact. Subsequent performances of Billie Jean is playback with ad-lib. The Way You Make Me Feel is a mixture between playback and live. That first line of Hey Pretty Baby with the high heels on is live, and then that's playback. And then during the song it's playback, then towards the very end is live. Beat It is live still. You Are Not Alone is playback. Dangerous is completely playback. Black or White is playback. Man in the Mirror is playback with ad-libs live at the end, and Earth Song is playback with live ad-libs at the end. Now we start with the history tour. Now this is probably the most concert that's talked about in terms of lip syncing. And you know what? That's okay. Like, a lot of fans are like, oh, the reason why Michael Jackson lip synced because he had laryngitis. Fair enough. But he did not have laryngitis for the whole tour. He didn't have laryngitis, you know, before the history tour when he was lip syncing, because a lot of fans are like, oh, history tour, you know, laryngitis, you know, cut him some slack, he lip synced. But you gotta remember, MJ was getting old, and the history tour, like, yeah, it was spectacular, but him singing was only like 10% of the show. Like, I heard that it was out of laziness, and you know, I don't blame him, to be honest. You know, having lip syncing is just far much more easier. And yeah, so the argument of him having laryngitis, he only had it for like, I think just for even just a small portion of the Europe shows, but the rest was just like traditional lip sync and then with ad-libs at the end, or just like live. But we'll get into it right now. So we start off with Scream, which was completely playback, but in Brunei, they actually had live ad-libs at the beginning and the first verse, which was live, which was quite strange actually. Scream was traditionally always a playback song, and people were like, oh, actually, I think in the second verse it was live. Turns out Michael did a solo version of Scream without Janet. So like they literally just Frankenstein and put his acapella on there just to make it look like he was singing live. They Don't Care About Us is completely playback. I don't count the drill as a song. It's just him screaming. In the Closet is playback, but the One Thing in Life You Must Understand part, that little rap section, that is live. Actually, going back to Scream, the playback failed in Gothenburg, which completely cut out his first verse, which was really embarrassing because he looked like he was singing. But yeah, the playback wasn't working. Want to Be Starting Something was live. Stranger in Moscow is playback. I think it was always playback. And in the rehearsal in Prague, there's actually some live vocals that you can actually hear. Smooth Criminal is playback, just like the Dangerous tour. The only thing live about it is the You've Been Hit By, You've Been Struck By part, which is all the way at the end. You're Not Alone is playback, with the exception at the end where he's ad-libbing and he's like, turn up the house lights, I want to see you, etc, etc, where he's talking to the audience and all that stuff. I think You're Not Alone also had a rehearsal where it was live vocals, but I think there was too much strain on his voice. That's why they decided to do it as playback. The Way You Make Me Feel is playback, and it was a bit of ad-libs in Brunei, for example, at the beginning. And the song always ends with the achika ooh as live, or sometimes the microphone doesn't work, so it's just mute. Jackson 5 medley is always live as well. Off the Wall medley is lip sync, which I find it surprising because they used the album a cappella from 1979 in a 1996 or 1997 show. Very strange. And it's live ad-libs at the end, Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, where he's like, come on, beautiful, don't stop. And he points, don't stop till you get enough. Just like The Way You Make Me Feel, sometimes the microphone actually fails, so it's just him pointing and it's just silent. Billie Jean is lip sync until the first moonwalk, and that's all completely live. Thriller is lip sync. Beat It is lip sync with certain ad-libs during the choruses where you're like, it doesn't matter, doggone, etc, etc. Come Together /DS, that is lip synced. Blunder Dance Hall is lip synced. Dangerous is lip synced, but like what I said in the Dangerous show, sometimes the microphone actually fails, so you actually have either a half-assed lip synced Dangerous, you know, sometimes the playback scoops back up, or actually he sings it live. Black or White is playback. Earth Song is playback. We Are the World /Heal the World is playback, with the exception of live ad-libs after the break, just like in the Dangerous World Tour. History is playback with the exception of live ad-libs. We're like, oh, mainly just screaming. Mainly the ad-libs is him just screaming. So now we get into the MJ and Friends 1999, and this also counts as the MTV 1995 awards as well, because it's literally the same set list. So the medley, which consists of Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, The Way You Make Me Feel, Scream, Black or White, and Billie Jean, that's all playback with the exception of live ad-libs, mainly him screaming or just like improvising. Dangerous, that's complete playback. Earth Song is playback. You're Not Alone is playback with live ad-libs at the end, and yeah, that's about it. 30th anniversary. Now, this one was a mixture between live and playback, and it was a mixture between the two nights. Remember that 30th anniversary was similar to MJ and Friends, where it actually had 2-night performances. The Way You Make Me Feel was actually live at the beginning with a mixture of playback and then playback, and then at the end of the song, which was live ad-libs. Because the way how they mixed it, sometimes they would frank and grab, you know, one ad-lib from one night and smush it in with the other night. And yeah, it was just a mixture between anything that they could find. Billie Jean, as per usual, is playback with live ad-libs at the end of the first moonwalk. Black or White is playback. Beat It is playback with live ad-libs. You Rock My World is actually playback with live ad-libs. Let's go with 2001 United We Stand concerts. Now, the cool thing about it is we actually haven't seen any video footage of this. We've only got audio and pictures. So the only 2 songs was actually performed was Man in the Mirror, which was playback than live ad-libs, and United We Stand, which was actually live ad-libs, was actually a mixture between live and playback. I think the second part of MJ's part was playback. Next we go is 2002 A Night at the Apollo. So it started with Dangerous as playback, full playback, Black or White playback, with I think live ad-libs at the end, but even then that's the album version of the ad-libs, so I don't know if it was sung live or it was actually playback. Heal the World was also playback as well as live ad-libs at the end. That is a big long list of concerts with live and playback. That is absolutely crazy. That's my research on my phone. You know, I just only did that just a little bit of a nutshell, but I'm sure I missed a concert, like a main concert that is. Or maybe I missed a song. You know, some songs actually had, you know, one-offs where they were live one night and then they would play back the other. Sometimes with just a mixture between who was mixing it on the night. And yeah, it's just the way how it was edited. But that is my full-blown list of which one was lip-synced, which one was live, between all the major tours that Michael Jackson has ever done. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed, like and subscribe. I'm gonna go take a nap after this because this was crazy. And I'll see you next video. Catch you around.